Greetings. I'm Rice and is there with Think and Be Well, and each week I share an emotional vocabulary word that speaks to how we may feel, natural human expressions that we might not have the words for. And this week's word is containment. Containment is a state where things may still look intense, but our nervous system already knows that things are no longer escalating and it can look for a place to land. I thought this was really important because there's so much turmoil in the world today. And even though this may sound counterintuitive because the news and what's going on in the world still seems really loud, those headlines keep going and coming with trauma after trauma after trauma. And there's a lot of pressure out there. Yet our nervous system can pick up on the fact that the fear isn't increasing anymore. It's not gone, it's not resolved, it's just not escalating any further. And that makes all the difference in the world. And most people won't notice this moment right away, which is why it's something that needs to be spoken to, because externally things still do look intense. And so we assume that we need to keep bracing and just waiting for the other shoe to drop. But the body is doing something else. The body isn't tightening further. It's scanning. It's saying, do I really need to continue to escalate here? Do I need to stay on high alert? Are things still escalating, or can I start to settle? And that's not a denial. That's actually intelligence. That is the body's inner intelligence expressing itself. And a lot of times we want to override the body's signal to self-regulate. And organizations do the same thing too. They'll see a tightening supply chain or employees who are overwhelmed, and they'll continue to try to use pressure and brute force in response to resolve situations that have already escalated to the point that brute force no longer works. And this is where we often misread the moment. So instead of applying that pressure, we can respond from a place of alignment instead of force. And instead of trying to tighten controls, we can release the control. And of course, it's counterintuitive because we're taught that we need to do something, we need to respond, react, and that if we don't do that, we can't remain on top of things. But our nervous system and organizational systems, they're not asking for more pressure, for more force. They're actually asking for stability. And containment isn't about not doing anything at all. It's about staying steady without the tension, without the overwhelm. It's resisting that urge to tighten up and to seek a forceful response, because internally, intuitively, we already know that this situation has begun to de-escalate. And when we keep seeing it as continually escalating, that then we're recreating the threat inside of our nervous system, and we keep looping into situations, environments, or states that are actually no longer present. And so containment helps us to be aware of this. And awareness is always the first step. So no, when danger is truly escalating, fight or flight is definitely what makes sense. The body's going to mobilize, it's going to do what it does. Yet, when danger stops escalating, the nervous system doesn't relax immediately. It looks to contain. It's going to do a check. Is it safe? and it's going to look to see where stability is going to hold. And when we interrupt that natural process, we teach the nervous system that it was right to stay tense. And it's the same again and with organizations. A regulated system is going to allow us to hold whatever is present. It holds capacity. It's not going to overcorrect. And it doesn't panic. It stays quiet and it doesn't confused whatever is present as a threat. It doesn't tighten when it knows that it needs to be finding resolution from a place of alignment. So if things still look intense out there, know that that's all part of the process. That is how it works. Yet at the same time, there's no need for fear to be growing within you, and you can check in with yourself and see that not responding out of fear is not checking out. It's actually finding your balance. It's integrating all that is going on and allowing yourself a safe place to land and move forward from, and test where you can find stability, and then move that stability into other areas of your life. So instead of tightening, we can look for where we can find stability and resolution from a place of alignment. And that lets the system find its footing again. That's where unforced movement begins. So if you like this word, please join us on Tuesdays for Thoughtful Tuesdays and everyday emotional vocabulary. Until the next time.